Oh, ahoy, Polloy! We're here at the Davenport Country Club on number 16. They call it the Hole of Grief. Not for a scratch golfer like me, though. I expect to merely get a birdie here. Membership has its privileges at the Davenport Country Club, and one of those privileges is access to an exclusive beer made by 5 Cities Brewing. We're going to learn about that beer and some other great local craft beers that are only available at other great local businesses on this episode of Brewed. Now watch me put this right on the green.
$50 says you slice it.
Gambling is illegal at the Davenport Country Club, and I never slice. We're here at the Davenport Country Club, and I know what you're saying. Davenport Country Club? That's not a brewery. You're right, but there's a method to our madness, because on this episode of Brewed, we're talking about beers that are exclusive to very specific locations. Beers that local craft breweries are making for specific and exclusive locations. And you want to talk about an exclusive location. This is gorgeous. We're at the Davenport Country Club. John, what is your job here? What is it that you do?
I'm the general manager and chief operating officer. So I oversee all of the operations of the entire club.
The entire club?
The entire club,
That's
yeah.
a lot of work.
It can be at times.
I have to imagine after a long day, you're probably in here having a shifty, just like if you were working in a brewery, huh?
Usually not in here, but I do enjoy a cold brew.
That's what we like to hear. So, Scott, you're no stranger to the show. I believe this is your 11th or 12th appearance.
I've lost count.
We were talking before the cameras rolled. You were on the very first season 10 years ago.
Yes.
Look at how well we've both aged, Scott. So my question is, there's a beer that's here at the Davenport Country Club that is not available anywhere else. Is that correct?
That is correct.
And my other understanding is that you guys at 5 Cities Brewing are responsible for that beer.
Yes.
Tell me all about it.
It's a blonde lager. It's an easy drinking beer that we've done. It's called 1924 in honor of the 100th anniversary of Davenport Country Club's existence. Started last year.
Was it a beer that you made for the 100-year anniversary thinking, well, it'll be for the 100-year anniversary, and it's still here a year later because they enjoy it so much, or?
Apparently.
Yeah, I guess I should ask you, is that what happened?
Yes, that's exactly what happened.
Right on.
We weren't sure what we were getting into when we first started it.
Right.
And we had to commit to so many kegs, so we wanted to make sure it was an easy drinking beer.
Right.
And Scott had a great idea, and we ran with it. So
we're talking about kind of a pairing, and I'm sure the food is excellent here, but I think the first thing you're probably pairing when you're making a beer for the Davenport Country Club is you're pairing it not with a food, but with an experience. You want a beer that people will enjoy after they've done a full 18, is that right?
Correct.
So
Very
like
refreshing.
a giant chocolate pastry stout probably wouldn't have worked for you guys.
No.
Did you give him, Scott, any directions? Did you guys talk about the recipe or what kind of style beforehand, or?
Well, I had told him, because I enjoy Bulldog Blonde
Right.
at 5 Cities.
Gosh, good
and
beer.
so he had the idea of, he wanted, instead of having a blonde ale, making it into a blonde lager and utilizing the same recipe. So I believe that's what you ended up doing.
Yeah, we're still doing this, except using lager yeast for the...
So the yeast is different?
Yes.
And I imagine it sits a while longer too, yeah?
It takes a little more time.
Okay.
Yes.
So it's not a radical departure from Bulldog Ale, but it's different enough that you would be able to notice the difference.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
When you're making a beer for, is this 1924, is it the only beer that you guys make for just one client? Is that
yes.
something you can even talk about?
Yeah, for right now, yes.
Okay, so when you're making a beer for a location like this, Scott, help me understand the process of creating a beer that is designed. I mean, you're not making a beer that's for your tap room. You're not making a beer that's going to go on the shelves of our favorite, liquor store, wine and spirit store. You're making a beer that is only available here. So help me understand how you make that happen.
No, I mean, it was just basically just talking, finding out what you would need. And I mean, thinking golf course, you're thinking, light lager type of beer.
Right.
So, and he had mentioned that he liked the Bulldog, so we just kind of ran with that.
Right on. The Bulldog was something that you enjoyed just from going to 5 Cities.
Yes.
On your off time when you're not here running the show.
That's right.
Did you approach them? Did they approach you?
I actually approached them about doing a beer. And just because we wanted to do a 100-year anniversary beer,
Right.
and we wanted it to be with somebody local.
Right.
And I know Mark Romer from Five Cities very well, and so he put me in touch with them, and it's been fantastic. So it's been a great partnership.
What kind of feedback are you getting from the members having their own beer that only they can have?
They love it.
Yeah.
They absolutely love it. And even like today, we had a number of guests that were in with one of our members, and they loved it. So it was their first time they'd ever had it before. So we do very well with our 1924 product here, and it's such a great story because we can talk about how, right next door we have somebody that's brewing the beer for us.
Sure.
And then this is the only place you can get it.
I mean, people love beer that's local, and I imagine when you have people that are maybe guests of members, maybe somebody from out of town or whatever, and they want a beer that is just so hyper local, to have something that is not only super local, but made specifically for just this place, that's got to be really something else.
Yeah, it kind of feeds into what we are. We're a very unique club. We have we've been here for 100 years. We have a long history, and so we wanted to celebrate that history with something special for our members, and then for their guests that come in.
I mean, people couldn't have even legally drank it in 1924 if you think about it.
That's right.
Right?
That's right.
Does it break your heart to make a beer that's as good as 1924 and know that you can't serve it in your tap room? You can't, it's not going to go on store shelves. Does it drive you a little crazy that you've made something that's so wonderful and yet the audience is people who are members? Does that
No.
hurt you in any way?
No,
Does it
no,
wound you?
No.
What's the ABV on it? I have to imagine it's pretty low.
5.2.
Perfect. So that's just the perfect after a round of. Does it pair well with the food here?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Does any beer not pair well with food?
I don't know. You know what? I'm told by people who know a lot more about beer than me that like there's certain styles that work better with certain foods. I mean, any beer with any food, I don't say no to it. But I would tell you, come here and try it. But I guess you got to get a membership first, huh?
Or come with a member.
Come with a member. Okay. Find a friend that's a member. Tell them you heard about this 1924 beer on Brewed, and then there you go. That makes all the sense in the world. John and Scott, thanks so much for your time.
Thank you.
Pleasure being here.
Cheers. Walk us through the recipe process, because this beer is designed to be consumed not only with pizza, but a very specific pizza.